outside your door, but above your head. Imagine hearing something unnatural, scratching at your roof every night. You tell yourself it's just the wind, but is it? Or is it something far darker, a thing that has been waiting just above you for the perfect moment to reveal itself? And when it begins calling your name, how far would you go to find out what's up there? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we have a chilling story that comes from Anthony, a viewer just like you. His tale, one of fear and confusion, was sent in after he couldn't shake the haunting experience his family went through. The horrifying truth was something they never imagined until it was too late. This is Anthony's story, and it begins in the quiet hills of a remote province in the Philippines, a place where the sounds of nature are so alive, it almost feels like the trees are whispering to you. Anthony, his wife, and their 2 young children had moved into this peaceful home, hoping to escape the chaos of city life. The simple life, but peace, as they would soon discover, is often a fragile illusion in the face of something darker, a darkness that can't be seen, but can be heard. It started small at first, a faint scratching sound. At night, when the family had already settled in bed, the sound would begin. It was quiet enough that it could easily be brushed off, but unnerving enough that Anthony could never ignore it. It came from above, from the roof. At first, Anthony thought it was just the wind, or maybe a stray animal, perhaps a cat. But this wasn't normal. The scratching was rhythmic, deliberate, like something trying to get in, or something trying to get their attention. Nights went on, and the scratching continued. The family grew uneasy. But it wasn't until one night, when the scratching began to change, that the terror truly set in. It was late, nearly midnight, when the scratching became even more frantic. Anthony's wife, who had already been on edge, whispered through the silence, "What if it's trying to get in?" Anthony tried to comfort her, but deep inside, he could feel the same dread. The next night, they decided to stay up, determined to discover the source of the noise once and for all. As the clock struck midnight, the scratching began again, but this time, something was different. Anthony and his wife grabbed a flashlight and made their way outside. Their hearts pounding in their chests, a sound seemed to be coming from above, from the very roof of their home. They aimed the light at the roof, but saw nothing but shadows. They thought it was over. That is, until they heard it. A voice that seemed to come from the rooftop itself. Low and eerie, it called Anthony's name. Anthony. Anthony. It wasn't a random sound. It was a voice calling his name, not his wife's name, not the children's. It was his name, as if something was trying to lure him in. Anthony freezes, looking up at the roof with terror in his eyes. At that moment, the truth dawned on him. Whatever was up there wasn't just some The days after that encounter were filled with dread. The scratching continued, the voice continued, but this time, it wasn't just Anthony who heard it. His wife did too. The children, terrified, would cry whenever the noise started. But no matter how many times they tried to brush it off, it didn't stop. In the coming days, strange things began to happen. Objects in the house would move on their own. Doors that were locked would swing open. The air grew thick with a presence they couldn't explain. Anthony and his wife started to feel it. Something was here, in their home. And it wasn't just the scratching that was trying to get in. It was something far more sinister. Then one night, it happened. The scratching returned. This time, louder, more urgent. And the voice. This time, it didn't just call Anthony's name. It called his wife's name too. The voice was closer. So close, it seemed to come from the very air around them. Suddenly, the camera zooms in on the rooftop, where a shadow can be seen moving slowly, deliberately. That night, they made a decision. They would leave the house. But before they could, something happened that would change everything. When they tried to leave, the door wouldn't open. It was as if something was holding it shut. And then, the scratching started calling their names again. But this time, the voice wasn't alone. The scratching was just the beginning. What waited for them above wasn't something that could be explained by logic. It was something far worse. A dark force that had been waiting to be invited in. And now, it was here. But Anthony, his wife, and their children weren't prepared for what happened next. Anthony's story ended with him and his family fleeing their home that night. But the horrors they experienced never left them. The scratching, the voices, they never truly left. And they want you to know, some things should never be invited inside. Do you have a story of your own? Something that's keeping you awake at night? Share it with me. Until then, stay safe. And always, always listen to the sounds around you. You never know what might be waiting above you.